We're rolling over a 4-star Hulk, and we're landing on the 5-star Wolverine, dude! Alright, what is going on, dudes? So we are back here today, finally, with some rank 5 insane Wolverine gameplay, dude. Now, when I pulled that 5-star Wolverine out of that bundle, I was absolutely freaking lit, dude. 5-star Wolverine, dude! I couldn't even believe that 5-star Wolverine was finally in the game, and then I had him on my account within 30 seconds of his release, and within 5 minutes of his release, he was at rank 5. I instantly jumped over to the champions page, and I brought this guy right up, man. I had a lot of mutant ISOs, so it wasn't too bad. I had a bunch of mutant catalysts. I'm actually kind of hurting for those catalysts right now with that new sunspot I got, but that's alright. More on that later. That's not important right now. But anyway, we got a lot of stuff to showcase with this Wolverine, and honestly, dudes, I'm really impressed with this guy so far. His regeneration at SIG 200, it's pretty good, man. You know, for a very long time, Kabam has said we don't want to release Wolverine as a 5-star because his regeneration is absolutely ridiculous and it's going to break the balance of the game. And I don't really think it's breaking the balance of the game per se now, but it's definitely pretty good, man. Like, he's not going to be like my first choice just because of his insane regeneration, because his damage is still a little bit on the lower side. But with deep wounds at max, and if you don't run suicides, by the way, his regen is going to be a lot better than showcased in this video. But even with suicides, with the 30% reduction in healing because of the poison, it's still pretty crazy, man. Like, he's getting through, you'll see in the video, but he's getting through entire 6.4 lanes, ending each fight at 100% health. So the fights are going to take a little bit longer, but he is reliable and he is not going to die unless you seriously mess up. Now, especially in a couple months, once the attack values in Act 6 get lowered, well, dude, he's gonna be like reliable option number 1, because he is just never gonna die, because he's not gonna take damage even if you eat 3 to 4 combos. And plus, if you keep your power high, you get hit a couple times, you get regeneration buffs from getting hit. But yeah, dudes, like, there's not too much more to say before we actually jump into some gameplay here. But what we got on the docket, first up, we are going to showcase that insane regeneration, because let's face it, man, that's what you're really here to see, right? You want to see that insane regen capability, and that is exactly what we are going to look at right now. So up first, we have Red Hulk. We're going against Red Hulk, and we're purposely playing really bad in the beginning. Why? Well, this is why, man. This is what we wanted to test out. Now, keep in mind, I didn't want to mess around with my masteries. I didn't want to take the suicides off right now in the off season. I didn't want to mess around with anything else. But just right off the bat, man, we went down to like 7% health. And I sped this up a tiny bit just for video's sake, because I'm going to do this so many times. But what I'm doing here is I'm just playing around, but I want to go down, all the way down, and then see if I can go all the way up, and then all the way down, and then all the way up, and I'm gonna continuously do that, man. And you know, Red Hulk's going down, his health is going down eventually. Nowadays, you could pretty much do Red Hulk with just about anybody. You know, Wolverine's not gonna be a top option for Labyrinth. He'll be sustainable in Labyrinth. He actually might be okay in Labyrinth, but he's not the hardest hitting champion in the world. But as you can see, man, this was now been the second time I went from like 0 to 100, and we're gonna do it one more time here, all right? So I'm down to like, what, 7%, and this is not going to be sped up. This is just in real time. Look at that. Look at how fast that is going up, man. This was seriously right there. That was about 15 seconds from 7% up to like 80. And now we have one regen going, and we're all the way back up to 100% in about 20 seconds. So in 20 seconds, we go from 7% up to 100%, and that happened about 3 times. Now, one thing I don't love about the regeneration is that it is based solely on RNG, so you're either going to have insane regen or decent regen. But the decent regen is always there, and the decent regen is good enough in my opinion. Anyway, let's jump into some Act 6 content now, alright? Alright, so first things first, you know we gotta test out that Gimme path in 6.4.1, and I'm going in here with only Wolverine, alright? So no synergies whatsoever, no attack synergies, no crit synergies, this is just straight up Wolverine at his base with suicides active, alright? Now, in order to get to the Gimme path, we do gotta go through this Deadpool, so I figured let's show off how Deadpool is gonna do, or how Wolverine's gonna do in a very generic fight here. There aren't any like unique buffs or nodes on this Deadpool. It's just a regular like 200k or so fight. There's a decent amount of regen. I think I have like 1 point in despair at this point, so I'm probably slowing that down a little bit with the bleeds, but yeah, man, 40 hits in, and this Deadpool is 75% of the way down here. The bleeds are doing, you know, an okay amount of damage. I'm pretty sure I had 3 or 4 out of 5 in deep wounds at this point. I don't believe it was 5 out of 5. But yeah, it's just pretty simple, man. As you can see here, he's not hitting too hard, but the damage over time from the bleeds definitely does add up. But what's most important is look at our health bar. We're running the Suicide Masteries, we tossed off a couple special attacks, and we are ending the fight at a full yellow bar, 100% power. Alright, so the path we're taking is this Gimme path. So how this node works is that we're only going to be doing damage based on the regeneration that we are doing, how much we heal. We do 400% of the damage that we deal, alright? So this node might be a little bit bugged as well, where it's going to be taking some damage from normal hits if you are running the Suicide Masteries, which I am. So I'm going to try to hit them as little as possible, and I'm going to try to stack some crazy regeneration buffs. That way we can see how much damage those are actually going to do. So in order for the regeneration buffs to actually be healing Wolverine and to do damage, we have to initially take some damage. So I'm taking a lot of hits on the block and a couple hits to the face. As you can see here, I had 4 stacks of regeneration, and look at how much damage we just did to Iron Man. Let's go in slow motion here. I took a punch to the face, and I activated that regeneration, and then I dexed out of here, and I hit a couple times, and now we have 4 regeneration buffs. Now watch Superior Iron Man's health bar. He is just absolutely draining. He's going right down. Now another thing about this node is that they're immune to damage over time debuff, so we're not going to be having any of our bleed debuffs up on the guy, so we're pretty much only doing damage from our regeneration. Now another thing is there's also that power scene that comes on, so as long as you're running willpower at all, you're going to be healing up like that, and you're going to be doing damage there as well. So there's also increased power gain here, so this is a pretty decently easy lane overall, as long as you have somebody who can regenerate pretty well. We're just taking these specials on the block just so that we can lower our health a little bit so that we could regenerate. That's the only reason why we keep eating those on the block there. But yeah, man, about 35, 36, 37 hits in, or I guess a little bit more because we got hit a couple times, and this guy is just about dead, man. If you get better RNG with the regenerations, obviously it's going to be done a lot faster, but look at this, man. We're going to be going into the next fight at about 90% health, and we just did a big chunk of damage from that double stack of regeneration there. Yeah, man. So let's move on to the Rhino here, and same deal, going to be immune to the bleed. We're starting out, going to get a combo in the face. I was trying to trigger some of those regeneration buffs, but unfortunately none of them did stack. That is okay though. We're just going to play it slow. Here we finally got one of those stacks up. It's regenerating a decent amount there. The way that the regeneration amount works is based on the amount of stored power that you have. That's why I'm not going to be throwing too many specials in this fight, by the way, or this lane. But yeah, man, we're just taking it slow against this guy, baiting out those special 2s. Just, you know, taking a couple hits on the block just to lower our health a little bit. Of course, he's being a little stingy with the specials. No big deal at all there. We got a nice little regen buff up now, and we also have the willpower from the power sting. So his health is just draining pretty slowly. Here it goes. We got a pretty big one right there, and as you can see, his health bar is just it's going down slowly over time, man. So as long as you just play this consistent, you play it safe, you just go slow and you bait out the special attacks, Wolverine is a fantastic option for this lane. Now he's probably not going to be as good as Magic or as good as
I don't know, who else is really good here? I don't know, Magic is probably the best option, I'd say, for if you're not cheesing it with suicides, but he's going to be a very good option to do it with actual regeneration buffs. Now, as you can see, we're back up to 100% health again, and this is after purposely taking a combo to the face against a 6.4 opponent. Here's another combo, and look at this. We're going right back up, man. We're back to 85%. It's so hard to die with Wolverine. I actually don't think I've ever like really died with him when I was testing, like in content like this when I was actually trying. I don't recall ever actually dying in a fight that he should be taking. I'm purposely trying to take hits to the face here. I'm purposely taking hits on the block, and I can't die. I'm just regenerating, and I'm ending most of my fights at 100% health. So up next, we're going to go on a different lane here. This is going to be the Polka Dot Power and Rage lane in 6.4.6, the last quest with the Grandmaster. So, you know, we're not going to need those regeneration buffs here. We're not like really going to be tuning in on the healing as much. We're going to see how he does on like a real lane here. All right, so up first we have this Doctor Strange. All right, so this is not necessarily the hardest lane in the entire world, but it's also not the easiest lane either. Now, this lane does have Backblast as well on it, so we are going to be seeing some larger yellow numbers from this guy because the crits are going to be doubled here. But that's nice because the crits aren't too high in general, so it's nice to see him hit like pretty okay. Now, the way Polka Dot Power works is that we're only going to be getting power whenever there is a damage over time debuff on the opponent. So obviously, Wolverine's really good for that because he's going to consistently have bleeds on the opponent. All right. Now, one thing to keep in mind here is that this is 6.4 level content. Once again, we're taking a lot of hits on the block. We're powering a ton, and we're pretty much topped up, man. One more regeneration buff, and we're going to be up to 100%. Now, we just gained 2 right here, and one thing to notice is that they both got counterspelled because this is Doctor Strange, alright? So keeping at 100% health against a Doctor Strange when he is completely just nullifying those regeneration buffs as soon as they pop up, that's pretty impressive to me, man. In 60 hits, this Doctor Strange is absolutely flushed down the toilet, man. And now the bleeds from this special 3, that's probably going to finish him off, man. And we're finishing that fight in the final quest of Act 6 at 100% health. Now we're going on to the next fight in this lane. We're just going to speed it up a little bit here because this video is already getting kind of long, and we're going up against this Sabretooth. Now there's not going to be any of those counter spells or nullifications present by any Mystic champions in this fight, and we're just going to be getting this guy down while having all of those regenerations active, alright? So yeah, man, it's been like, what, 25 hits, and this Sabretooth is already down to 50% health. I think I had 5 out of 5 debuffs for this fight because they're stacking a lot longer here, and once again, we're topped up at just about 100% health, and this is a pretty simple fight with Wolverine. I'm just trying to bait out those special ones, just trying to stack those bleeds. I'll throw off some specials if I have to, but I'm just like, I like to keep my power high when I use Wolverine, just so that if I do take a big combo to the face, I have all of that power to get some sick regeneration buffs so I could top myself up to 100% health. Another thing to keep in mind here is that this also does have the rage node, so any special 3 is only going to do 2.5% damage, alright? And that goes for any hits here, but in 6.4 with the health pools, you're not going to be doing more than 2.5% health on your basic combos unless you're using somebody like Ghost or Corvus or someone else like that. But yeah, man, we finished that fight with 100% health as well, and on we go to the next fight here. There's also a Venom here. Now obviously with Venom, you guys know that I like to flex that special 2 evade very often, but I think we're just gonna stick to trying to bait out the special ones for this fight, you know what I mean? Now we're having some really terrible RNG when it comes to stacking those bleeds right now, and also pretty bad RNG when it comes to the healing, but you know, it does kind of suck that the healing is based kind of towards RNG, but as long as you keep hitting the opponent, you're gonna get them eventually. Now, you don't need a regeneration buff on you 24/7, you know, unless you're getting hit every single combo. As long as you stay consistent, you're going to regenerate, even if it isn't the fastest regeneration always. As you can see, in about 15 seconds, I went from 80% up to 100%. Now that is absolutely decent and very, very useful in content like 6.4, where you're taking a lot of chip damage, man. You're just like consistently healing. It's very, very nice. You don't really have to worry about potions. If you go into a fight at like 20%, you don't have to worry about it because you're gonna heal up. It's very, very nice and very nice to have. I really, really like that regeneration capability. I think I'm gonna start trying to bring him into map 7, man, just because he's a very rare champion I have right now. It's a very unique rank up, and his regeneration is just very sustainable. So if he is able to go on my paths, I think I might start bringing him in just for a little bit of fun. I mean, it's Wolverine. Who doesn't like Wolverine, you know? But yeah, man, we're at 100% health, and this Venom is down to 20%. We're just taking it slow, baiting out that special one, and here, like normal, I'm starting to get a little impatient, man, so I'm gonna start pushing him a little bit. Gonna toss off a special 3, and I'm gonna let that big bleed on the special 3 drain him down a little bit. We are 72 hits in, and he's starting to drain now at 10% health left, and this should really be the end of it here. One more combo and that should be it. So we're gonna try and bait out a special one, but he's just not budging, man. He's just not budging at all. I was trying to get some light intercepts there, but I just went for the parry and I ended in there. So that's 3 fights in to a lane on the last quest of all of Act 6, and we're at 100% health. Now, the next fight on the lane is a Havoc. I thought it would be really, really cool if he can out-regenerate some of the plasma detonations on Havoc, but you know, those attack values in Act 6, man, maybe after they're nerfed, but that's what happened right now. So that didn't work out how I planned. Up next, we're just going to jump into Realm of Legends here with a really fun team, a really fun synergy team. We have Weapon X to give him plus 15% attack on regeneration. We, whenever he has a regen buff, we have the Cable and Sinister synergy so that we can get a, I believe it's a 20% or 25% passive attack at the beginning of every fight when you're using a mutant champion. And we also have Omega Red, who gives him some other attack values when you have a regeneration buff, I believe. But yeah, man, we're not gonna watch this entire fight, I don't believe. I think I speeded up right around here just because we've already seen so much gameplay with Wolverine, but I just want to see how he does with this very fun synergy team for Realm of Legends. Alright, now after this one, I'm also going to throw in a Realm of Legends fight that I did with your standard old school, very nostalgic mutant crit team. Alright, so that was the Wolverine, Storm, Cyclops, the other Cyclops, and also Red Magneto. Alright, so this one's doing pretty well. We're not critting too much because, you know, his crit rate isn't the best in the world, but he does have all of that passive attack bonus, man. He's getting attack bonuses whenever he has that regeneration buff. He has the passive attack from Sinister and Cable, but as you can see right there, we just tossed off our special 2, and it didn't hit too hard at all, and it didn't crit, like, pretty much at all, man. So it's not the most impressive thing in the world, but we took a couple hits to the face, man. We're ending the fight with 100% health, and we got through it in 94 hits in about 90 seconds. That's really not bad. So up next, this is, you know, the next one here. We have the mutant crit team, the crit damage team, and we're gonna go again, and we're just gonna, I'm gonna show a little bit of this one, and then we're just gonna skip to the end of the fight because it's gonna look exactly the same, just some of the numbers are gonna look different. So in this fight, alright, it's a little different because you're going to see a lot more of the yellow numbers, but you know, the bleeds are going to be doing less damage because you don't have all of the passive attack damages. So as you can see right there, that was about a 36k special 2 because they all crit. So that's okay. That's definitely okay for a 2015 champion, you know, very old champion. But it's not up to the standard of like Corvus goes to all of the other big hitters here. But as you can see, man, even though we have some bigger and more common yellow numbers, all of the damage over time actually made this fight go longer, about 10 hits longer, because the bleeds were ticking for about 40 to 50% stronger with all of those passive attack synergies. Now, you don't want to bring, you know, these two synergy teams into content like Act 6 or AQ, AW, anything else anyway. That's why I wanted to do most of the Act 6 gameplay with the Wolverine by himself, alright? He doesn't require any synergies. I feel like his best synergy for me is Weapon X, and most people don't have Weapon X, so I didn't want to like really harp on that too much. But yeah, dudes, this was some Wolverine rank 5 6200 gameplay, man. A lot of people have been asking for this. I was very excited to make it. I'm very excited to have Wolverine, man. I really do hope he becomes more available to other players as well, like in the next featured crystal or something like that, because he's really fun to play and he's just a really cool champ to have. And I'm very excited for them to add Scarlet Witch as well. Yeah, dudes, that's pretty much gonna be it, man. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed making it. If you did enjoy it, do me a favor and leave a like. Comment what you think about that insane regen in the comment section below, and subscribe if you want to see some more content coming to you very, very soon. I'll be seeing you around.